Hello and welcome to Reality Check. At a time when the pandemic seems to be in resurgence, young, overworked doctors on the front line of the battle against the virus are instead battling the police on the streets. On and off now for almost a month, holding protest marches, dharnas. One celebrated as Corona warriors and for whom we bajawed thalis and talis, now they say they face the brunt of police lathis. Now, these young people are resident doctors who say that 42,000 fresh graduates who've cleared the National Entrance Medical Tests or NEET should be put through their final clearances known as the counselling phase so that they can join hospitals and lend a shoulder to these overstressed residents. But the admissions of these 42,000 graduates who cleared the NEET exam in September this year has been on hold because of a combination of a pandemic-induced delay and a legal deadlock over reservation in medical admissions. This is slightly complicated, but let's try to quickly decode for you what's happened. The genesis of the gridlock was the government's decision in Jan 2019 to bring in a 10% quota for the economically weaker sections in the general caste category, whose annual family income shouldn't cross 8 lakh rupees a year. A decision challenged immediately in court. Despite the ongoing court hearings in July this year, the government said it will go ahead with the quota for admissions for the current year, admissions which had been delayed because of the pandemic. The National Medical Entrance Exam, as I said, was meant to be held in December of 2020, but was delayed to September this year when these 42,000 students cleared it and were all set to become doctors. This led to another challenge in court, with the students asking how the government can go ahead when the matter is in court and that the quota wouldn't apply to them anyway, since if there was no pandemic, they would have already been admitted into hospitals. The court went ahead with the hearing, asking the government how it arrived at the 8 lakh rupees cap for the 10% quota. The government's lawyers, and this is crucial, the government's lawyers say they would create a panel to study this. Until then, they would stop the 42,000 graduates from getting counselling, preventing them from joining the hospital. As the news portal TheWire.in reports, this despite the Health Ministry writing to the government saying that putting the counselling on hold will impact hospitals. But with the matter stalled in court and no response from the government, the protests have escalated. As the crisis threatened to spiral with doctors in several hospitals joining the strike, impacting patients, doctors like this group in Safdarjung Hospital say they have no choice. Okay, शौक नहीं मजबूरी है, ये हड़ताल जरूरी है. This is not something we're doing for pleasure, we're doing this because of compulsion. Now, the Health Minister had called a meeting with the striking doctors this evening, saying that they can't allow the 42,000 new graduates to get counselling and join work since the matter is in court.
सभी रेसिडेंट डॉक्टर के साथ मेरी आज विस्तार से मीटिंग हुई है. सुप्रीम कोर्ट में केस सब जुडिशियल होने से हम काउंसलिंग नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, लेकिन 6 तारीख को सुप्रीम कोर्ट में सुनवाई है. उसके पहले भारत सरकार की ओर से हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट में हमारा रिपोर्ट सबमिट कर देंगे और मैं अपेक्षा करता हूं कि तुरंत ही काउंसलिंग स्टार्ट हो जाए.
As we go on air, at least one union, AIMS, has withdrawn from the strike, saying that the government says they are open to their demands of allowing the graduates to join work and also will address the question of police brutality. But all the other resident doctors, the association has just decided that they will still go ahead with the strike. All right, joining me tonight, I'm joined by Dr. Tejas J. He's the president of the Karnataka Association of Resident Doctors, which is part of the group, the overall association that's striking. We have Dr. Sumit Ray, head of Department Critical Care Medicine, Holy Family Hospital, is with us. Banjot Kaur, senior correspondent, health of The Wire, is with us, who's been tracking this story, and Geeta Bhatt, political analyst, supports the RSS BJP, is with us. Let me start with you, Dr. Tejas, so just to understand that the ministry had a meeting today with some of the striking doctors. AIIMS seems to have been convinced enough to pull back, but it appears that the others are all still continuing to strike. Why is that? Why are you not convinced by the assurances?
As you all know, that the issue started actually 27th of November. Means we had raised the issue on the 27th of November. That time, the union minister has assured that it will be sorted in 1 week. Then we, after 1 week of the strike, we have stopped, and after respecting the assurance from the health minister, we stopped the strike. But nothing happened. And next time, they formed a separate committee, and they gave 3 weeks time. That within 3 weeks it has to be solved and it has to be submitted in the court. But after 3 weeks, the date was 21st December. But the holidays will start from the 18th of December. But the government is neglecting our demands. That's what we want to say. But this time, the union minister is giving the same assurance, same verbal assurance. By what means we have to trust him? Because we already 2 times
you already had that experience. So in simple terms, right? But in simple terms, Dr. Tejas, what you're saying is allow these 42,000 doctors to these new graduates, allow them to get to work, get them their counseling, get them into hospitals, because otherwise all of you as residents are overworked and overstressed. Is that right?
Nearly 7 months. Nearly the 7 months over. That means the May is the last date. Means every year by the May, the new batch will be joining. But this time it's already December. We don't know. Still the counselling also not started, because after starting counselling also it will take 1 month, minimum of 1 month. So nearly 8 months out of 3 batches, only the 2 batches are working. We are overburdened. We are over exhausted. And as you all know, that the third wave is also coming, and it will be very difficult for those who are working now, and it will be over exhausted for overburdening for us. That's what we are asking the government to start as soon as possible for the council.
Give me an idea from the experience of your own hospital where you work, your other friends and colleagues work. When you say you're overburdened, give us an example of that.
Yeah, in our hospital, I'm an orthopedics postgraduate resident working in the WIMS Ballari Hospital. Nearly we will be having some 40 admissions in the OPD days. Means it will be done by, all the works will be done by the first year. It will be divided. So the basic work will be done by the first year postgraduate, and the follow-up will be done by the second year postgraduate, and third year will be postgraduate will be doing their work. But what is happening is there is no first year postgraduate student. All work has to be done by both the second year and third year postgraduate. It will be very difficult. We are around 13 pages, 13 into 3, the 39 pages. Out of 39 pages, only we are 26 pages. And those who are in the senior batch, means third year batch, they will be exam going. They have to read for their exam.
So but like, what does this actually mean? You're working longer shifts. You're working endless hours. Are you exhausted?
Yeah. We will start working the 8 o'clock in the morning, means till the next day 9 o'clock will be our emergency OPDs, emergency OPDs. And when the earlier was there, at least till 4 o'clock we would have finishing our work, and we would be taking the rest. But what's happening is now is till 48 hours we are not getting any rest. We will be continuously working, because we can't neglect the patients also. We have to take care of them, and we have to be responsible.
Okay, so you're working round the clock. Now, Dr. Ray, I don't know if the impact of this has spilled into hospitals like, Holy Family, which is not a government hospital, trust. But has it? And even if it's not, how do you see this as impacting, hospitals?
No, it has affected us too, Vasu. And as we also have resident doctors, and resident doctors are the backbone of any health system, hospital system, particularly the public health system, as Dr. Tejas was saying, and also in trust-run hospitals too. So they are a backbone, and if you don't have 1/3 of the staff, and already what has happened is because of COVID, they were overworked. And then a lot of the elective surgeries, etc., were not done during COVID, which are now peaking again because people are coming back for their elective surgeries, etc. So they are having to work extra hours. They are not getting offs and they are not getting leaves. So the combination of these factors, and already an exhausted, group of young people who have really worked heroically during the COVID pandemic. So it is really causing strain on them. They're, tired. They're emotionally distressed. They are not getting leave to go home. All these are affecting them.
Right. The interesting thing, Banjot Kaur, is, and you bring it out very well in your fairly detailed piece on this on The Wire, is that it almost seems as if it's a slightly complicated kind of gridlock here, which we try to explain, that essentially it seems that the government told the court, because on one hand you had the admissions of these new kids delayed because of the pandemic, but then the government tried to bring in the quota, the 10% quota, in the middle of it. And when the matter came before the court, the government told the court, look, let's first get the quota issue resolved, the committee set up to look into the quota resolved, and then we'll admit these 42,000 and put a pause button on it. Which, as you say in your story, that the court actually said, do you want to do that? Is that wise? Shouldn't you just go ahead and let these kids get admitted? But that's not what happened.
Precisely, yes, Srinivasan. So, and this is what, when we speak to the doctors who are protesting day in and out now, this is what they also say, that we do not have any view on quota. Whether the government wants to implement it or not is their policy. What they are demanding is, if this was an half-baked, policy, and if it was not properly worked upon, what was the harm in delaying it for a year and bringing it next year if you really wanted it to bring? Why to put the whole system to ransom by not letting some 45,000, 50,000 doctors into the workforce, just because you wanted to do something that is already pending before the court? I mean, the whole law is pending before the constitution bench of the Supreme Court.
Right.
So if it was already sub judice, why would government say in July this year that we are going to implement?
What do you think? What is it, because of the political aspect of it, that they wanted to push ahead with the 10% quota? I mean, what?
Whether it is political or what really prompted the government to push is something, for the government and the people in this field to decide. But one thing is very clear, that had government really not, put a pressure, insisted that we are really going to implement it no matter what happens, and even at the cost of these, these doctors, things wouldn't have come to this pass. Had government just said in the court that, because at one point in time in the hearing on November 25th, even court asked SG if the government would want to delay it for a year. SG said, no, we will go ahead with the committee.
Okay.
So when the law minister is saying today that it is sub judice, it is sub judice because the government wanted it to be sub judice, not because the court wanted it to be sub judice.
Okay. Dr. Geeta Bhatt, I mean, looking at it just away from the nitty gritty, just look at what is happening, and we put those visuals up on the screen. These are our young frontline warriors, exhausted, worked through first and second wave. Now they're on the road, getting beaten simply for what? Simply for saying, let the next batch join. Government says, no, we'll put that on hold till we legally resolve the quota deadlock. What is more important, government's quota or getting, help for the doctors?
Well, see, Srinivasanji, definitely, the medical fraternity, our doctors, our nurses, our paramedics, they have, in the last 2 years especially, a very, very strenuous work life, and the nation is definitely very thankful to them for the exemplary work that they have done in saving, so many lives during the pandemic.
Then why are they protesting and getting beaten?
Yes, and their concern is genuine, because they are worked up and they are tired. But as we just saw that, the health minister, it is not that the government doesn't want that this issue should be resolved, but it is complex when it gets sub judice. There are people who have gone to the court and they have questioned the the implementation of the economical weaker section.
No, but the reason why,
which
Geeta
is
ji,
implemented in every government sector. It is not just for that, only for the NEET admissions. Now since it is sub judice,
No, but
and there is already
Geeta
a
ji,
hearing which is fixed on January 6th.
No, but Geeta ji, it's sub judice.
That the committee will submit its report before that.
No, but
So-
Geeta ji, the
So we are
argument
hopeful
here
that
is,
this is going to get resolved.
Geeta ji,
in the
Geeta
next
ji,
hearing.
Geeta ji, the argument is that it's sub judice because the government made it sub judice. If you had not pushed ahead with the quota this year, if you just postponed it by a year, it wouldn't have been challenged in court. Why did the
So
government
this-
push ahead?
No. See, the EWS quota has been implemented in all the educational institutions. It is not just for the medical institutions. Everywhere it has been implemented. Now, if there has been a court case and it is sub judice where the court also has raised they have certain issues with the bar of 8 lakh annual income regarding the EWS quota implementation, for which they have sought a reply.
I know,
from
but
the
why?
government.
I know, but I'm saying
Now
the government's position could have been, sure, we will address this in court, we will decide, this committee can, but we will let the batch that has already been cleared, they've already graduated, they're not impacted by the quota. They could have joined. Isn't that Tejas, Dr. Tejas?
Yeah.
Isn't that the point, that these 42,000 graduates, they've already graduated, right? They've already, in September, they took the exam. They just need to have gotten
Yeah.
the counseling and joined.
By this time they would have joined.
By this time they would have
should been
joined.
joined.
Right.
Yeah, but because of this new rule they have brought, that the government has brought that new committee and new reservation policy, this has to be held. The last year it was not like this. Last year it was the different thing. The reservation was a different thing. What we are requesting is let this year continue with the same last year the reservation policy, so that other 42,000 can join. See, what is happening is those who are sitting also in their homes, this is the difficulty for them also, and those who are working in the hospital is difficulty for us also. The government is making problem for the both of us.
And
That's why
meanwhile, and in the meanwhile, though, many of you are on strike, though. I mean, again, this is not to take away from the fact that you may have a legitimate demand, but to those who would say, look, I know you're exhausted, overworked, but you're going on strike at a time when, again, the pandemic is picking up, hospital services are hit, people are being turned away. What would you say to them?
See, if the government is responding as properly, means if it is fast responding, means this would have been taken this time. Means if the government has taken proper decision, proper measures for our demands, why we will go against the people? We are here to serve the people only.
Okay.
Because in the COVID times and all we have served. We are not against anyone and we are not against the people. Don't want to serve the people. We want to serve the people, and we are
So
asking
you're saying that you had no choice but to go on strike? Because,
we have given letters.
Okay. Dr. Ray, does this make sense, the government's position? This is sub judice, that when you could have allowed these kids to join the latest batch, the quota doesn't apply to them, could have come in later? What?
Two things. One is that it should have been a much more thought through process when they were trying to implement this, so that it should not have gone to the court, and if it went to the court, it could have been resolved earlier, because we are waiting for that decision, because the government has to give its explanation for that 8 lakh cutoff, etc. But I'm not going into that. The other thing that we are forgetting is it's not just about the doctors. It is the quality of care delivered to patients gets affected when doctors and nurses, etc., are overworked. Obviously, the quality of delivery of care gets affected. And why is the onus always on the resident doctors or healthcare workers if, after protesting for more than a month in different ways, not going on strike, asking the government to resolve this earlier, nothing happens, and they are pushed into a position where they have to go on strike? And not just that, the next line, I can guarantee you the police cases will be against these young doctors, and this will be used as a method to pressurize them to withdraw their agitation. That is the pattern that is carried through, and always the onus is on the resident doctors. I agree with it that the patients will suffer because of the strike, but they were forced to go on to this agitation because of certain decisions that were done.
Right.
And as I again want to remind you that patient care gets affected. We should not forget that when overworked doctors, overworked nurses end up in worse patient care, and that is very important for the government to address it.
Okay. In fact, Banjot, you point out in your piece that the health ministry, and this, that to add to the confusion, the government is at odds. There are confusing conflicts within the government. The health ministry actually wrote, I think, to the government of the law ministry, saying, please allow these people to join. Requirement of first-year doctors at hospitals is essential, inevitable to reduce the burden of second and third-year doctors as well as to treat the patients as the pandemic is still continuing. So in a way, the health ministry is on the side of the doctors, or is at least trying to enable it.
Exactly.
But another wing of the government is, there's a block.
So that's why I say it's one of the rare protests where the protesters and the ones against whom the protest is being held, currently the health ministry, they are on the same page, and yet the demands are not getting fulfilled. So health ministry wrote this letter to Deputy General Advocate on December 6th itself, and it said in that long letter precisely the same things which doctors are saying today. So they are on the same page. So and then the whole,
right.
The suggestion to the law ministry was, please move court, please request court to go ahead with the counselling, and the final result of the counselling will of course be subjected to the writ petition.
Right.
So it's between law ministry, it's between social justice ministry, it's between the national testing agency which comes under education ministry, and it's between the social justice and empowerment ministry. 4 ministries are at work here.
Right. And Geeta, but in the middle of all this confusion, like a billiard ball getting pinged around by these different ministries, you have a situation where, again, just to zoom out and put the big picture here, 42,000 graduates waiting to join to help these overstressed doctors, and they can't. And so these doctors are going on strike, patients are getting affected, the doctors are getting beaten by the police. I mean, isn't this government mismanagement? And let's go full frame with those visuals we started with, the montage, to give you an impact of what this is all meant as yes, Geeta Bhatt, go ahead.
Yeah, Srinivasan ji, see, umpteen number of times it has been seen that when there is a particular decision which involves more than one ministry, because there is there are administrative hassles and there is the bureaucracy which is involved in moving any kind of a, file from one ministry to another, and this is a particular, peculiar case which we see here.
But isn't that, that's what I'm saying, isn't this mismanagement? No, isn't it mismanagement that the government at a time of a pandemic can't get its act together?
See, Srinivasan ji, Health Minister has very categorically said that before 6th of January, where the next hearing of the court, is scheduled, the committee is going to submit its report and it will definitely get resolved. So, you see, the concerned ministry, the concerned officials, they are trying their best to resolve it at the earliest, because everyone is concerned regarding the medical, the
Dr. Tejas,
and the doctors.
okay, but we just heard from Dr. Tejas, he said similar assurances were given earlier and nothing happened.
One thing, what is the guarantee that 6th will be we will get the decision? Means, what if it's postponed another 2 weeks? Means, what if the court asks for another 2 weeks time or 3 weeks time? What if the court asks the report submitted by the committee is not sufficient? We will take another 3 weeks time. What is our situation in that time? Because we will be again overburdened for another 3 weeks.
Exactly, because I'm not sure if viewers have followed this, the report by the committee is to examine the cap, the economically weaker section cap of 8 lakh rupees earned by a family per annum. On what basis did the government arrive at that cap, which is very different to getting these 42,000 kids counseling and get them into hospitals. By tying the two things together, the government has ended up creating a bottleneck. You have to de-link the committee and its findings from the counselling. I think that's the crucial step that the government has to figure out to unknot this. But let's see if it happens or not. But unfortunately, as we speak, it could well be that our young doctors are going to spend a night or more nights protesting on the streets of Indian cities. We are out of time. Thank you so much for joining and for watching. Good night.